So I'm Jim Weldon. I'm a national account executive with Rustoleum. This is Joe Cutler. You guys all know Joe. He's your local rep. So luckily for you guys, Joe's really good and knows this stuff really well. So to really set something fun. Look, I could talk about paint and be really boring. That wouldn't be a whole lot of fun for an hour. You don't want to hear about a boring paint. So I'm going to talk about opportunity because that's a better way to go about it. I want you guys to kind of open your eyes. That's kind of what, I was talking to a distributor, sales manager at a show, and he was commenting that his guys have blinders on when they go into a facility. They walk in and do what they're comfortable doing, and then walk out, leaving tens of thousands of dollars of opportunities behind them every single day. So I guess the point of today is to basically take the blinders off. I want you to open up your eyes. These kind of opportunities you're missing time and time again. Because we really, I think as salespeople, we're all going to float on the river in the easiest possible path, right? We're just going to flow downhill and take orders, drop off our donuts, and say hi to the guys we need to say hi to, and move on. And we never want to get out of our little safety box and go out and delve into other areas of the plant. Well, I want you to do that today because I think it's hopefully after today is over, you're going to realize there's a huge opportunity out there that you're walking by every single day.
Oh, yeah, you want to?
Why not? So why sell paint? On average, your customers spend about $10,000 a year in industrial maintenance coatings. And I'll give you a good example of that. I was at a plant up in Utah with a distributor. We walked into this detergent plant. It was all freshly painted. I just go, man, this sucks. Sales is all timing, right? I mean, sometimes you're lucky, sometimes you're not. I go, this really sucks. When'd you have this done? About a month ago. I'm like, why'd you have it done? He goes, well, we sell all of our detergent through Sam's Club. And Sam's Club comes and visits once a quarter. When they come, we paint. From the CEO down to the secretary, go and grabs paint, paints everything yellow and red. So don't worry, this goes on every quarter. So the point is, I learned that, hey, these guys are doing this all the time. Maybe miss out on one order, but get the next one, because it's happening for sure. Oops, it's going too fast. So they're currently getting their paint. Your customers that are buying all the paint are currently getting it from one of three places: paint stores, hardware stores, or other distributors. So really the question is, why not you? So let's talk about those three entities right now. If they're getting it from a paint store or a hardware store, at the end of the day, they're leaving their facility to go get it. I don't care if they want to buy paint at a Home Depot or if they're going to buy gloves, ladders, anything you sell. They're going to Home Depot. You should know a couple things to be able to answer that question. One is, it costs them on average just about $150 in labor to send someone out of their plant to go and buy some at Home Depot. Your trucks are going there every single day. Why have them spend $150 to send somebody out for a 2-hour milk run when you drop something off there every single day? To save $3? Does it make sense? And then on top of that, it costs them about $75 to cut a PO. So they're literally spending $225 to go save a couple dollars here and there. When you're like, wait a minute, we're coming every day. Let us do that for you. Other distributor, if you buy from their distributor, that's easy. Who has a relationship? If you have a better relationship with that person, you should buy it from you. I mean, at the end of the day, sales is a people scheme, right? People buy from people they like. So if they're getting it from Grainger, but you have a better relationship with the guy, then you should be selling the paint to them. If they're buying it from someone that, if they're buying $1 million a year from Grainger and $50,000 from you, you're probably not going to get that business. I mean, it'd be cool if you could, but reality is you're probably not. So the place that you have good relationships with, where you're selling, the bulk of the business from, if they're buying paint from someone, if you're selling someone $250,000 worth of material and they're buying $50,000 over here from distributor B, and they're getting their paint from them, that's what you're, dude, you're killing me. We're dropping all that stuff to you. Let me have the paint orders. I mean, so use your relationship and leverage that, and you should.
And you guys keep a fairly good inventory as opposed to competitors out there. I mean, you even have the ability to deliver
So the US coating market is about $2.24 billion. And I like this slide because this is kind of tells it all. 75% of that is gallons, 7% is aerosols, and 18% of that is flooring. So you're in outside sales. Do you sell mostly aerosols or gallons?
Well, I'm new, so I mean,
What are your accounts buying, do you know?
most
Like
of mine
gallons.
that I've sold actually have been aerosol, that I've sold personally, but I know there's a lot of gallons out
And
there.
you're, and you're
Inside, I do a little bit of both.
mostly aerosols?
It's either or.
What are you
Really.
finding?
Gallons.
Okay, so here's the deal. This is why I like the slide, because I'm a numbers guy and I'm a common sense guy. If you're selling them aerosols, you're selling them. That's easy to sell. You know, it's safety red. I got a safety red. We could do that, but it's only 7% of the market. If they're buying aerosols, they're using it to touch up what they've already done in gallons. So you're missing out on the huge opportunity of the 75% right there. So I want you to think of paint almost like McDonald's. When you go to McDonald's, you order a Big Mac. Good luck getting out of there without getting fries and a drink. If, you're in inside sales, treat it the same way. If someone calls up and says, "Hey, can I get 6 cans of safety yellow aerosols?" Sure, no problem. Would you like some safety yellow gallons with that too? The first thing they might say is, "Well, I didn't know you sold gallons. We've been going down the Rustoleum store to buy those." No, I can get those for you. You may not get the order this time, but
Right.
it plants the seed in their head that next time I should get my gallons to you guys. So just kind of treat it like that, because it's literally, sometimes they don't know that you have that. It's as simple as that. Or they're buying the gallons somewhere else. Well, get that order. Because again, they're spending 10 times more in gallons than they spend in aerosols. And again, I could, sales were all paid on dollars, right? So I mean, a $3 aerosol can is not as impressive as a $30 gallon. So again, they spend 10 times more in aerosols than they spend, look at that, 10 times more in gallons than they spend in aerosols. Then one thing one of your customers all have in common is they all have a floor. And all those floors have issues with cracks, holes, painting all the time. And this is where you can make a lot of money at. Unfortunately, if you're not selling them gallons, they're probably not going to go to you for something like this. So it's important that you get beyond just the aerosols and get into gallons. So when they have a flooring problem, they think of you. Because that's, they're going to go wherever they're buying the gallons to the flooring. And the flooring can be a big job. It can be anywhere from $5,000 to $50,000 to $500,000 depending on what they're doing. So make sure you're always on top of that, so they don't look past you as just the aerosol guy or just I always buy the safety yellows from them. Well, they have a lot more than that. So utilize that relationship and make sure you're always talking about flooring. So why Rustoleum? We have the largest breadth of product of any paint manufacturer out there. We have everything from aerosols to gallons and flooring and a whole lot of innovation. Our company believes in always developing new products, whether it be, we have 3 ways of developing new products. One is by using our own technology. One is by copying someone else's technology, or a lot of times just buy a company that fits our niche. And 2 examples of that are cleaning products. We've got into cleaning. Do you guys sell a lot of Simple Green?
Mhm.
No?
We don't even carry anything like that.
Now, we had someone sample that crud cutter in. We tried that last year. That stuff works great.
It's
I'll tell you
phenomenal.
what, people buy that stuff by the 55-gallon drums.
Right.
I mean, that stuff works great. I'm honestly, I've used it. That stuff
So
works
your
great.
customers are probably buying, if you're not selling Simple Green, they're probably buying something like Simple Green. So again,
I'm
Crud
sure.
Cutter works,
Yeah.
and your customers are buying 55-gallon drums. It's a pretty good size order. We just recently bought Wink, and your customers are probably doing a lot of that too. Probably your CLR, calcium lime.
Yeah.
Your customers are probably buying a lot of that, especially in this area with the water the way it is. There's a lot. So we'll go over these a little bit and you'll see what we're talking about. Crud Cutter, it's the original KK, it's the stops rust of cleaners and degreasers. Basically, if they have a stain or anything like that, they can use Crud Cutter. And Crud Cutter is awesome for pretty much anything in an industrial plant because they're buying the 55 and the 5-gallon drums and they want something clean. And what's nice about this is it can be used in a food plant. Simple Green cannot be used in a food plant because it's not DFE certified, and this is. So just a little FYI there.
Jim, they won't do totes?
55 gallons is the most we do. So as you can see, it kind of talks about that, the design for the environment we have, the NSF certified we have.
But we don't have that now though, do we? You just said they had we had samples out,
We had samples, removed that.
but we never put it on shelf?
No.
You can add that to your orders, because again, anything that we own, as long as we own this, so you can add this to your paint orders, so you can make it all one order too. But you should be stocking this in at least 5s and 55. I would have a couple 55 gallons and several 5s. That's the bulk of what we buy. Not gonna use much of the spray, that's more of a consumer thing. But I'll tell you right now, it works fantastic. They have a lot of cool products like oil grabber. If there's a stain in the oil on the floor, you pour this on, it's a liquid, it turns to powder, and it kind of sucks the oil out of the floor. So it's pretty cool. They also have paints, parts washer. I imagine your customers are buying something similar to this. And it comes in 1 and 5 gallons. And basically it just removes grease and grime and oil and stuff from any of their parts. So they're probably using something like this a lot of times. You just don't know it. That's why you have to just kind of ask, hey, what are you using for cleaners? It's getting out of your comfort zone a little bit. This is kind of, we just bought this company. This is a brand new acquisition of ours, is Wink, and we really felt it fit into our, we're trying to develop a cleaner portfolio, and it really kind of fits in. I like the slides. It shows all they do. If you guys are familiar with the little brown container, but that's what they're known for, is a little brown container. But here's what's kind of cool. If you look at the water hardness levels in the United States, where you guys are, it's very hard. So there's a lot of rust, and that's why this is a kind of a good item for you guys. It's a rust stain remover, a lime and rust remover, and basically the number one selling item is their rust stain remover. At our sales meeting, it was pretty cool. We had a rusted panel. And just to give you how cool this stuff works, we just took a paintbrush of the rust stain remover and we just painted it on a rusted panel. In seconds, the rust is gone.
Wow.
You can already see how it's already gone.
Now, is that fresh for paint then, if you do that then? Or when you do that, or is it?
I just remove
Like to prep it?
Yeah.
You could, yeah, this is, if you have, well, oftentimes there's rust stains that build up on the areas. They can just, pour this on and remove the rust, or they can paint over when they're done, it doesn't matter.
Okay, so you can paint right over this and
Sure,
if they clean this off.
but the point is just to remove the
stains or whatever
Yeah.
on anything.
CLR is really, huge, obviously with the calcium lime removal. This is the kind of very similar stuff for rust. They also have the Oxy stain, which is a gel, which works amazing for harder rust areas. They have the calcium lime, which is great for this area with the hardening of the water. So again, it just kind of shows that we have a lot of other products to get outside your comfort zone. And they're buying these products. They're going somewhere to get these. Maybe going to the hardware store, maybe going to wherever, but they're buying these products. Just kind of ask them, do you use a rust remover? Do you have a calcium remover? I have that for you. Then we have the safety products. And these are kind of fun too, because these are something that if you just talk about it and ask about it, you'll get orders on this every time, because people care about safety. We have 2 products out there, Safe Step and Grip Ball. We'll start with Grip Ball. Grip Ball is a really cool product. This is a company we bought from Alaska. This company was up in Alaska. Hold on a second, Joe. I'll get to that in a second. And they made this for the shipyards in Alaska, the fishing boats and stuff that were all slippery. And what this is, do you guys sell a lot of 3M tape?
Not at all. No.
Okay. This is 3M tape on steroids times 10. 3M tape doesn't last for a while. It lasts about maybe 2 months at tops. And the reason it's very thin and it wears down. And when it wears down, it's worthless, and then it's really hard to get off of there. This is Grip Ball. And what you're looking at here is 4 layers of polyurea paint with aggregate goes into each layer. So as one layer wears off, the next layer kicks in. And it comes in rolls and sheets, and you simply just peel and stick. So it's really simple. It'll outlast tape about 10 to 20 to 1. It also comes in Extreme Grip, which is the same thing as 4 layers of polyurea with steel studs embedded in it. So for areas like where maybe they want to do room work, maybe outside where the snow and ice builds up, you want something that's a little bit safer, there you go. But again, that's something, if you just talk to your safety guy about that, if they're buying 3M tape, say, how often do you replace that? How long does it last for you? They'll probably say, 2 or 3 months, but you can do it.
You won't fall down that stuff.
Dude, I got something gonna be better, so you can definitely help them out with that. What's the wrong way here? How do I do that? Okay, then we also have, the lava rungs. And these are the dopiest, stupidest things you've ever seen. And if you can't sell 1,000 of these, you probably shouldn't be in sales. These literally are what they are, they're ladder rungs. Every one of your facilities has a steel ladder that goes up the side of the building or inside of pits that are rounded steel step. You just taking a safety issue and I did that in Nevada to a titanium plant, and they bought 2,000 on the spot.
Jim, we can't keep them on the shelf. Literally, we can't keep them on the
Wow.
shelf.
Do you have literature on this?
Yeah, I can send you a PDF on that. I got, then we have Safe Step. So this is an interesting product. Let me tell you how easy this is to sell. Joe's counterpart, Bill, who works for Cutler, was out in New Jersey, went on an end user call to sell some cold galv to a customer. Turns out the customer was already buying cold galv from Rustoleum, so it was with a different distributor that was selling it to him. So he's like, "Well, I don't really want to swap dollars and really help me." So he goes, "Do you have any safety issues?" And the guy goes, "What do you mean?" He goes, "We have some products that might interest you." So Bill showed him this. This is Safe Step. It's a fiberglass reinforced step cover. It comes in sheets, and it comes in step covers and step edges. And all you do is you simply put it down on the step like this, and you simply glue it and screw it down. And you've taken this is a permanent solution to an everyday problem. Everybody has issues of safety in their plant. This is, if you look at it in terms of like, ranking them, like just a 3M tape is temporary, very temporary.
Can you get those like pre-cut?
They're already cut. This, it comes in
They've got different shapes.
32 by 10 up to 59 by 13 and a half. And you simply order the size you need.
We sold this already. They're already in the system.
They can cut it. You can cut them to size with a grinder too.
You don't really need to, though.
If you got something more narrow.
Yeah, if something below 32 inches you could cut, but
Commercial
otherwise you
boats,
would.
you got to get.
But here's the beautiful thing about this. So Bill showed this to them on a Thursday, and a Friday he got a $12,000 PO for sheets and for the step covers. So it's a permanent solution to an everyday problem. The question I get all the time from a safety guy is, how long is it going to last? My standard response is, when are you going to retire? He tells me 10 years. I say, hey buddy, it's not your problem. Let the next guy deal with it. So that's kind of a permanent solution to everyday problems. So again, we have some really cool safety products that can go a long way toward growing your sales.
Now that's a coarse grit. It also comes in a medium grit, so it's a little bit more refined.
We're going to talk about each of these products individually, so let's get to the chase here. This has just come out recently. It's called H2 Pro. It is a water-based, rust-preventive aerosol. Kind of an oxymoron, right? Rust-preventive, water-based aerosol. So I say water-based. Most water-based products have about 2 to 3% of water in there. And once you put water in a product, it tends to run. Krylon's got water in their water-based one, and it runs like crazy. We developed a formula with 30% water, so it truly is a water-based aerosol with almost no odor. Any factory can spray this out, and they'd have no odor. So think about that. If you sell to, obviously any enclosed area is going to love this, but even like places like, I don't know if you sell like prisons or hospitals, anywhere where odor is an issue, you can spray an aerosol. I could actually spray paint an aerosol in this room and you would not smell it. It's rust preventive, it's high gloss, and it is rust preventive, which is amazing. It's also self-leveling, which we'll get to in a second here. So typically, most aerosols are about a 80% gloss at 60 degrees. This is a 95% gloss at 60 degrees, meaning it's almost like a mirror. The shine is phenomenal. So it's really kind of a cool product. It comes in all the safety colors, and it is rust proof. It's also foolproof painting. Typically an aerosol goes on pretty thin. To put it in perspective, I'm not getting mil thickness, but if you applied this aerosol as thick as you would apply epoxies, it's not going to run. It's self-level. So if you overspray an area, it literally dissipates and self-levels. It is phenomenal. This is kind of showing what you're seeing here is we did a water-based, this is Krylon right here. We did a one pass. of Krylon, and you can see how it runs. Here's one pass of ours, how it covers and also doesn't run. You guys sell the food and beverage plants, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you sell any Steel Tech? You sell a lot of it or just some?
We had a burst of it for a little while. It's tapered off now, but everywhere we sold it, they love it.
So what Steel Tech is, it's a coating that has 316L stainless flakes in it. So every food plant loves this because everything in their equipment, every part of their plant is made of stainless steel. The only thing that aren't made of stainless steel is the pumps, the motors, the gearboxes, and the structural steel. And they want to paint that stainless so it looks stainless, because everything looks stainless. So when the FDA comes in, it makes for a much better picture, because everything's stainless. It also hides rust because of the 316L flakes in it. So it is a phenomenal product that you should sell to every one of your food plants. Every one of your plants is currently using a product called Steel It. And it looks like this. So if you go into a plant and they're buying Steel It, ask them one question: are you buying Steel It? If the answer is yes, this is the easy sale you'll make all day. An aerosol can of Steel It costs your customer between $22 and $25. Your cost and ours is right around like $8.25 maybe. Double it, sell it for $16.50. Be a hero and make some money. The gallons, they're paying $250 a gallon. Your cost is like $85. Just, I mean, my gosh, double it and save them money. It's such an easy thing to sell. So if they're currently, and plus with Steel It, it requires 3 coats. They're not putting down 3 coats. So they're not getting the protection they need anyway. But their spec sheet requires a primer. The primer costs $125 plus the 2 coats, the $250 paint. Ours is 1 coat and a lot less cost. So again, if they're buying Steel It, be a hero. Say, buddy, I can save $100 a gallon. I can save you, $10 in a can. And they'll love you. And it's a better product. There's our Steel Tech.
We have this in stock too.
Yeah.
We're going to come out with a fast dry alkyd. It's not out yet. We're having trouble with the formulation on this. We tried to get it down to 250 VOCs, and that failed. But we're going to get down to 340 VOCs, which helps you guys quite a bit. The reason this why this is such a fun product when it comes out is really at the end of the day, oil-based alkyds are awesome because you can slap them on anything over rust, everything. They work out really well. Problem is the dry time. It's about 8 hours for it to be dried. This literally dries in 1 hour. And it'll be out probably in the fall is what we're anticipating. We tried to get down to 250 VOCs and we just couldn't do it and get that kind of dry time and performance.
So this is kind of like a replacement for the 7400 series then?
It will be.
Okay.
It will be.
Once it's done. It's
Because
not
we
done
sell a lot
yet.
of 7400 series. That's one of the ones we stock, and that's been a
Yeah.
big.
This will
big
be,
user
they'll like
for
this
us.
even more because of the 1 hour dry time.
And then it's a one-size-fits-all. It's gonna take in a few different product lines.
Yeah.
You guys don't sell like that. So, MetaPrime I'm just going to talk about briefly because it's a product that's worth talking about just so you know. I had a customer, well here, this is a good example. You guys are obviously a piping company. So a lot of your pipes go in the ground? Or do they stay?
Some of them do. Yeah.
So typically they're going to paint those before they put them in the ground. Most places do. And when they go in the ground, they can't afford to have it rust because they can't see it. So I got a call from someone the other day saying, "Hey, this is going to go in the ground. We need the best possible product you have because, quite frankly, once it's in there, we have to trust it's not going to rust." So I suggested MetaPrime with our 9200 system. Our 9200 system is epoxy that deals with moisture really well. Okay, so that'd be the perfect combination for that. So what is MetaPrime? MetaPrime is a primer you put down, and it's got. So let me explain it this way. This is a better way to explain it. If I was gonna show you how rust worked, if this was a panel, and I scratched it down the middle, you're gonna get rust there, right? That's inevitable. Now, the lesser quality of the paint, what happens is the rust spreads underneath the surface. That's when you start to see, like, if you look and you see like a spalling of rust, like, well, how'd that happen? Well, what happened is the paint you used was cheap, and the rust started to go under it, and it just keeps going under until all of a sudden the whole area is rusted. And the cheaper the paint, the quicker that spreads. Now, ours do a pretty good job of staying pretty much in that little area over time, but it's not a foolproof thing because obviously rust is going to try to get in there. However, with Metaprime is a primer with thousands of paint pellets. So when the surface is damaged, what happens is the paint pellets explode and seal the area. You'll still get rust along that one area, but it's not going to spread under the surface because it closes it off. Now, it's not, this is the most expensive primer we have out there, but an application where they always have rust and they can't solve that problem, or an application where it's going underground like a pipe, automatic. You say, look, I know it's more expensive than what you're used to spending, buddy, you can't afford to have rust, can you? They're like,
Okay,
no.
no. Our
Can't
pipe
rust.
is always primed with something.
So I would suggest, again, people that are complaining, because this is their biggest concern is when it goes in the ground, they don't want it to rust, but they have no idea if it's rusting or not. And this one company that called up and asked about that, we poured this on they're gonna use, was because when they pulled out what they were using, it was all rusted, and it drove them nuts. Like, we can't see it.
But can you put that like over the coating that's already on our pipe, or do they
You would
have
just,
to?
you would just sand it down and put this on, sure. But I would recommend it for the perfect, everybody wants, good, better, best, right? But you want peace of mind? Right here. This with our 9200 system would be the best product you can put on a pipe that goes in the ground. Hard surface primer. Kind of excited by this one. This is another new product. What this is, people want to paint their floor, but nobody wants to grind. Because grinding's the worst part of the job. It takes the most time, and it's laborious, expensive. So we have a product called Hard Surface Primer. What Hard Surface Primer is, it is a product that you put down over a painted area that will seal it. You want to do minimal prep. You still have to clean off oils and get off loose paint, because loose paint is still going to be bad. So kind of maybe just sand it a little bit, make sure any loose paint is off. Put this down, and it has the effect of grinding that, and then you paint over it. This also goes on, if someone's got a sealed concrete floor, paint won't adhere to a sealed concrete floor. This will. Paint won't adhere, say you want to paint a room that has tile on it. Nothing's going to stick to tile. This will. This is a primer that will pretty much go on anything, and it takes. Obviously, grinding is still the best thing you can do. But if you're not going to take the time to grind, this is the next best alternative. So one coat of this, top coat of epoxy, you're good to go.
Jim, I'm not familiar with that product. Is that good for 9100?
Yeah.
That's a big change.
Instapatch. This is way cool. So rather than tell you how cool it is, I'll just show you. It's pretty cool. It's a 2-component polyurea. So shake both sides, and then let the fun begin. So this is such an easy product to sell, because if you just do a little demo or tell them about it or show it to them, and if I get cards from somebody, I want to send you guys some brain charts on all these different products that will be little short PowerPoint presentations that you can then forward to your customers. So it's equal parts A and B. So this comes in bigger sizes. This is a small sample size, but also comes in a gallon kit, which will be the most popular. It has a 2-year shelf life, and basically what happens is I can sit here and use what I have to use, fill my crack, and then you touch out. I already got my hand. I got it. Oh, and then put it back on my shelf. So I only going to use what I need to use. Usually see-through glasses are preferred, so I can see what I'm doing. This is just guessing. It's equal parts A and B, so hopefully I did a good job here of guessing right. If not, you'll get the idea anyway. That's not bad. We're just going to mix them together. My pot life on this, I have very short time to get this done. So once I start mixing it, I have to move pretty quickly. The beauty of this is I can literally put this down. At this point, before I put it down on the floor, I've already cleaned the floor out. I've already gotten all the dust out of there, any rocks, anything in there. So it's good to go. All I'm doing now is mixing it together, and I'll pour it in the crack.
So this is going to cure gray. We also have a tile red color available for food and bev. For food and bev plants.
Which is
They
great
have the red
because
tiles.
they bust those red tiles up all the time, and they have to have somebody come in and fix the tiles and everything, or they move a piece of equipment, there's a bolt hole there or something like that. It matches that tile and with all their audits, they can't have any busted tiles. But they can pour this stuff where a tile's missing or half a tile's missing, and it works great, yeah.
So I should do it without anything in my finger, it's pretty good. So it's what it is, it comes out black, it's eventually gonna turn gray, then in 10 minutes I can drive a forklift over it. So literally it's a 10-minute cure.
15 minutes, you can tap a hole in it.
You only wanna go down about an inch, so if it's a bigger area, do an inch at a time.
I think I've seen them do that out in.
Yeah, we do that out now.
Yeah, it can also be applied down to -5 degrees for a freezer application, which is huge too.
Which we did out here last time we were
Yeah.
here. We did
And you
it
can
in
actually
the Hershey's
pour
ice cream
that
factory.
and then grind it off to match the certain, oh, you show a picture of it, yeah, grind it off.
Yeah, if you're not a good pourer, just grind it off. Pourable concrete, do you guys sell a lot of our turbocrete?
Some of it.
Some of
We
it.
we
sell
stock that, yeah.
More, you sell more than you do, but this is actually a new product out called pourable concrete. So basically just add water and pour it out. So it's a self-leveler versus turbocrete, which is a trowelable one. This one kind of self-levels and you can just feather it. So it's a little bit easier to use and it's pretty cool. And it has you can take forklift in 30 minutes and vehicle traffic in about 2 hours.
So what's the advantage of this over?
This is, the advantage to this is that you pour it out and it's self-leveling. So for bigger areas, you want to use this because it's so easy to use. For smaller areas, you probably want to use turbocrete still because you trowel it on a smaller
Okay.
area. So it depends on the size of the area you're looking to do. But this is phenomenal. It's down to 40 degrees and it's just a really cool thing.
What's the minimum thickness you can pour? Like if you're gonna hole and it slopes up a little bit, what's the
Well, it's like concrete, so you can pour out whatever. So I look at it from the standpoint of if you have something small, like a crack or a little hole, use Instapatch. If you have something a little bit bigger that's trowelable, you would use the turbocrete. If you have something that's pretty big, troweling the turbocrete take forever. Just pour this out there and just look at the size
how,
hole.
how thick or how
You want
thin
to be,
can
I
be?
would say, I mean, obviously the thicker it is, the better,
Mhm.
because it's going to adhere better. So I would say you want to be at least an inch on this.
Okay.
But you can kind of see the area there. It's about an inch deep,
Okay.
what they're showing there. Knockside. Do a lot of your customers have plants that look like this? Do you see a lot of this type of stuff? So they never paint this because it's really expensive to do. It costs them a lot of money. So in order to paint that properly, they would have to get a company to come in and get that down, grind that out to a near white blast, that would cost hundreds of thousands of dollars for these two pictures right there to do that. That's what I'm going to do that. Then they put a zinc epoxy urethane coating on top. It's a 3-coat system. And then it'll hold up for about 5 to 10 years pretty well. They do it over again. But this job right here would probably cost about $250,000 or thereabouts to do that. And that's a lot of money. It's an eyesore, but it's a lot of money. So, we have a product called Knockside. And what Knockside is, it's an elastomeric coating. I already said this. The only prep you need to use for Knockside is pressure wash it. That's it. Get a pressure washer, 750 psi, get about an inch or two away, get all the rust off of there, all the loose rust, and you're done. That's your prep. So I've just saved you several $100,000 on prep. The cost of paints can be about the same, because ours is a 3-coat system just like theirs. It's 2 coats of Knockside with a top coat. So the difference is not the paint. The difference is going to be the prep. What makes Knockside unique is it's an elastomeric coating. So this guy shows it. They were quoted $300,000 to have a zinc epoxy urethane product applied. Ours was $66,000 because of the prep work. So what Knockside is, it's an elastomeric coating. And basically what happens is, in this example I'm showing you right here, it's a little cylinder that we pounded a ball peen hammer in it, which cracked the backside. The coating stayed intact because the coating expands and contracts. It's like, remember Silly Putty as a kid? It's a Silly Putty on steroids. So it's elastomeric. When I spray it, it comes in it's got dry fall characteristics. You don't have to put up any tarps. If someone oversprays, it gets on cars, it just dusts off. You can't do that with a zinc and epoxy or anything like that. So for anything that expands and contracts, anything that's outside the elements, this comes with a 10-year rust-proof guarantee with 2 coats of Knockside and a top coat. It's phenomenal. And again, it's the savings is all in the labor, because it's, pressure washing takes no time at all, and near white blast takes forever. Cool story about this is, We use this a lot on bridges, because bridges sway in the water, and so there's a lot of movement in bridges, like there is in silos and things like that. So with the bridges, like we did the Mackinac Bridge, we did the cables, the Golden Gate Bridge. We did not actually do the bridge itself. Anybody want to guess why we did the bridge?
Expansion contraction.
Yeah, because if there's an earthquake there in San Francisco and there's a little bit of movement in the bridge, that would hide it. So it's actually too good for the Golden Gate Bridge. But here's some before and after pictures. This is the before, and there's the after.
Wow.
The hopper bins before and after.
So this comes in different colors then?
What you would do is you would put 2 coats of that on. If you don't want to, some people, we recommend top coating it. Some people don't. It comes in different colors. If you don't top coat, the reason why I recommend top coating it is if you don't top coat that, you kind of see it has that little rough. It's not like a smooth surface. So anywhere there's a rough surface,
What do you top
dust.
coat
Just our outside 3700 paint.
this? That'll expand in with that?
Yeah, it doesn't expand with it. Yeah, it's the paint doesn't expand with it, but the oxide protects the
Oh, okay.
expansion. But what that does, if you get dust in there, it's going to show. Whereas in a smooth top coat, it won't show.
Dirt.
Yeah, because anytime there's a rough surface, dust appears. So that's pretty much, we've got, I guess really the point of this whole meeting, and by the way, I could drive a forklift over this right now if I wanted to. And that was what, about 10 minutes ago?
Still hot.
You still hot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Feel free at you. So that's kind of how that works. You can see how easy that works. It's phenomenal, and you get just a really nice, again, 10 minutes. If you can't sell that, that's such an easy thing. So bottom line is, today was really about opening your eyes and seeing that we have whole lot more out there than safety yellow aerosols and safety yellow gallons. Joe knows the product pretty well. He knows it very well, actually. So he's a great resource for you. But again, just expand what you're selling. You guys should be selling a lot more than what you do right now, and use these new products to get you to that next level of sales. So with that said, any questions?
All these specialty products are that's a great lead in to talk to customers. I mean, it just is,
You make friends with it.
Sure, this kind of stuff,
Yes,
that
exactly.
stuff, I mean.
If you guys have cards, I'll send you a Brain Shark, and I have a Brain Shark on a lot of these items, which are short little 5-minute PowerPoint presentations
Okay.
that you literally can forward to your customers. Say, hey, check this out.
Yeah.
Do you have a need for this? Safe step. Hey, check this out. Do you have any areas in your plant where safety is an issue? Watch this short little 4-minute video and tell me what you think. You'll make sales without even leaving your computer. So
We sold a bunch of this stuff, this works good. And if you have a couple of them where the steps are rounded off, they put this on that square step, the step's broken off, whatever,
So,
you can put that over it.
and I would use something like this too for that. This is putty patch. What makes this kind of cool is it's like you just add water, and you can actually mold it then. So for those steps that you're talking about that are rounded, you want to put this down, and it can go vertical.
Okay.
So basically, you put this down as like again, I'll go back to my silly putty example. Because that's pretty what it is, and then just put it on that vertical step, because it's probably not ideal to have a rounded.
Right,
It's
right,
not ideal. You could use this to square it off.
It's also good for your vertical cracks as opposed to where you can't use Instapatch because it would run out. But this stays in, you put it into the crack, shave it down, and
It holds up really well.
that's basically what it's meant to
And
do.
that's called putty patch. Just add water, pretty simple. So with that said, I guess it's lunchtime. Unless you guys have any questions, we'll be here right now.
Thank you.
Hopefully that was
Thank you.
informative, hopefully that was beneficial, hopefully it'll grow your sales. Get those blinders off.
Good.